By now, Glen Abbey's pending closure is old news, and those most bothered by it have probably made their way through the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance that the only thing up in the air is Glen Abbey's expiration date. Yes, golfers might one day no longer be able to walk the grounds where so many of the game's greats have played. Instead, they'll have to sift through old photos or YouTube videos to relive some amazing Canadian Open moments at the Abbey.
What a shot.
Doesn't get any better than this, guys.
Jack Nicklaus's first solo design is slated to be replaced by homes and shops. And that's led to disappointment not just for golf fans, but for PGA Tour pros too.
I've played there a lot. I like the course. It's a fun challenge. It's kind of an old school type of course nowadays. So it'll be sad to see it go if it goes.
You know, to me, Glen Abbey's always been the home of golf in Canada. I also understand, you know, development and the city of Toronto and the way it's expanding. You know, I can see where, you know, that land is incredibly valuable and where it might be used for houses. You know, I definitely will have a little soft spot for Glen Abbey, and, you know, I hope it sticks around.
Glen Abbey has hosted more Canadian Opens than any other course in Canada. And over the past 40 years, it's been one of only 2 public facilities to host the National Championship, with Angus Glen in Markham, Ontario being the other. Otherwise, the tournament has been held at private clubs such as Hamilton, Royal Montreal, Shaughnessy, and St. George's. While the practice of hosting professional tournaments at private clubs has long been accepted, one can look at what the USGA has been doing in recent years to see a changing trend. Without clearly outlining a mandate to play its national championship on public courses, the USGA has mixed in venues such as Bethpage Black, Torrey Pines, Chambers Bay, and Erin Hills, along with regular US Open public hosts Pebble Beach and Pinehurst No. 2. With the Abbey destined for bulldozers, could Golf Canada do the same? This country certainly has its fair share of beautiful public courses. And while the USGA's multi-million-dollar TV contract gives it the freedom to move around the United States at will, Golf Canada has to play by a different set of rules that requires aligning the interests of multiple stakeholders.
When we're going out looking at a golf course, it's about, you know, it's more about what are you doing to accommodate outside of the ropes. I mean, the circus that is now the PGA Tour in terms of what it brings, whether it's ShotLink or fitness trailers or, you know, all their TV compounds. It has just grown so much in the last sort of 10, 15 years. So the footprint has to be bigger. You know, obviously geographical plays a big part, access to an airport, access to, you know, just getting people there. I mean, it's just all important.
Understandably, Glen Abbey has been a perfect host course for everyone involved. It's in the heavily populated Greater Toronto area, which has led to great ticket sales and corporate support. Golf Canada's headquarters are on the property, meaning tournament setup is a logistical breeze. And of course, Glen Abbey was built with the express purpose of hosting a PGA Tour event in mind. With its stadium-style spectator mounting, it provides excellent viewing opportunities on every hole. It is, without question, going to be quite difficult to replace. However, Golf Canada is aiming to do just that. Officials have visited several properties big enough to build a multi-sport facility that would include an 18-hole course designed by one of Canada's great architects. One parcel of land north of Toronto has really caught their eye. If accomplished, that course would become the permanent, or at least semi-permanent home, to the RBC Canadian Open, just like Glen Abbey has been. It's an ambitious project given the cost of land in Toronto, but Golf Canada is very serious about it.
You know, I think over the next year, I think the due diligence that we're going through now will sort of prove that it can be real. I think it will be real. You know, the one thing I found out in traveling around, there are a lot of people that are pretty passionate about the Open and its future and what it wants it to be. People associate a lot with Glen Abbey in terms of having this iconic golf course where the Open is kind of associated with. So how can we take that, create this new venue that becomes a world stage for the Canadian Open, for the PGA Tour, and for our stakeholders?
The RBC Canadian Open is an historic championship, the 3rd oldest open golf tournament in the world. If you've attended in recent years and walked around courses such as St. George's, Hamilton, or Shaughnessy, you've felt the energy in the air and seen the greatness both in play and golf course design. But what about tackling a course the PGA Tour has just visited and then trying to emulate the shots the pros executed? That is an amazing experience, and it's part of what has made Glen Abbey so special. Unfortunately, with that course apparently close to disappearing, the door to play on the same field as PGA Tour pros in this country is closing. Unless Golf Canada's bold vision comes to fruition and Canadians get a new public course that can both challenge the best golfers in the world and the everyday weekend warriors like you and I. Now that would be a pretty awesome replacement for Glen Abbey.